Yeah, what's up? What's good? What is happening? Welcome to the King and Me Show. I am King.
And I'm me, Michelle. Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
It is Monday, August the 7th. It is our normal live stream day. I look forward to these live streams as this is like number 7,
9.
number 9.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, okay. We are 9 deep up in this thing. That's what I'm talking about.
Because when you said it this morning on AMP, I was like, but like 2 weeks ago, he said it was 7. So I went and did a count.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
glad you did because I don't be doing numbers and things right. Dates and numbers are unfamiliar to me.
It's okay.
All right. But hey, let's acknowledge the people that have came in before we get into what we are, who we are, and why we are here. Wait, what are you looking at?
Nothing. I can't look
Oh,
at you.
what did I do?
Nothing. You
You
do
sure?
have a little limp ball right here, though.
I had to fix it.
It's a little limp ball.
Oh, you got me?
Good.
Good looking out.
Still handsome.
So let's acknowledge the people that have came in and hit a comment or hit that like button. We got Tarika Smith in the building said, everybody please hit that like button as you come in. I appreciate you popping in, Tarika. Thank you for joining the live stream. Shout out to our other mod. God happened to me as well. She said, good evening in voice and in text. Multi-talented up in this joint.
I'm telling you.
All right. So what is the King and Me Show? The King and Me Show is a live stream in which Michelle and I decided to put together to combat the narrative that there's trash people out there dating. We have officially crossed 1 year of knowing each other, which is interesting because several people recently have heard us talk and communicating things and say how in sync we are with each other, but we just got to really knowing each other. We've known each other for over a year. We've been dating for 10 months? Did I do that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was interesting hearing somebody else say that because I would agree with them. I think we are, but because we communicate things and expectations, I think we've gotten to really get the chance to know each other and we're still learning each other. So part of us doing this live stream is to share that journey, share how it's working for us and combat the narrative out there that the dating pool is trash because in reality, it actually is trash.
It really is. Like, no kidding whatsoever.
But not everybody is trash. It just, to me, requires a little bit of patience and really knowing what value you bring to not just yourself, but to others as well, and standing 10 toes down if you got 10 toes on what those values are to you. Hey, some people don't have 10 toes. However many toes you got, standing maximum toes down. That's how I'm gonna say that.
Oh Lord, maximum toes down. And if you are a believer or someone who loves to pray or meditate, do all of that before you go out into the dating scene because dating is crazy. Like it's whatever it was like 20 some odd years ago, it ain't today. Wait, 20 years ago, yo, I was dating. Oh my God.
20 years ago, I was still married. Think about that.
Wait, no, you weren't.
20 years ago, yeah. 20 years ago was 23. Oh, no. No, I was not married.
Because you've been divorced for 4
Yeah,
and you were married for 14. That's only 18.
No, I got married. Let's see. I graduated high school 2003. I got married in 2004. Yeah, December of 04.
19.
Oh, I was in the streets. I was in the streets 20 years ago. Yes. Hey, hold on. Let me tell y'all real quick. I was a young airman with a flight suit in the middle of Oklahoma. All right.
Oh, well.
That is all I'm going to say. In the streets. I was. Yes. Okay. All right. I had somebody who I was talking to a little bit in between that time. She dumped me for a misunderstanding. Before Amazon was Amazon, where you could quickly bring up proof of what you ordered on a smartphone from your Amazon account, where now I can screenshot it and say, if that's what you got, it was wrong because this is what my order says.
Oh yeah, I remember that story.
I tried to do something nice for somebody. I'll tell you the date that I went into the streets. It was a week after March 27th. So sometime in April is when I got back in the streets. Hardcore too. Like when you get hurt and you go through pain, that saying hurt people hurt people. Well, hurt people also go out and just be reckless. Yeah. Yes. And I was in the streets. But a week after March 27, when I tried to do something nice for this person who I was talking with, who was in college at the time, she received a gift that wasn't what I ordered. And instead of calling me and talking with me about it like a regular person would, she decided to call me, go off, and try. And I don't know if she had an audience, but if she was gonna like tell me off around her dorm mates or whatever for what I thought was like a Bath and Body Works like gift basket, turned out to be a gift basket full of marzipan, bread, and cheese. So that's what she got, but it wasn't what I ordered. But
like I still like you've told me this story before, and I still hear it, and I'm just like, so you got cheese and bread, and you gonna go off on somebody? Like, unless you vegan, like I don't. Okay.
And you were in college too, so you know, hey, I mean, cheese and bread, food is exactly. So instead of hearing me out, she decided to just go off. And when I finally put two and two together, I was like, hey, hold up, that's not what I ordered. But at that point, like the damage was done because instead of being focused on my military training and stuff, which was highly stressful, I'm just learning how to refuel airplanes in the air. Now I'm focused on trying to get this ungrateful ass person a gift back. Oh, wow. That was my first time I think I cussed on the King and Me show.
Ain't no cussing on this channel. Hey, just like this. Will Smith ain't have a cuss in his rap to sell records. We don't either.
Hey, strike that from the record.
See, look at you going off on a tangent about some chick who hurt you, and now you won't hear cursing on our channel. No.
My bad. So yeah, instead of focusing on like my military training and things like that, here I am trying to make somebody else happy, and turns out no. Moral of the story: take care of yourself first. Nobody's happiness is paramount to yours. The end.
First of all, we are on a dating channel, sir. We talking about us.
Yes, but part of our history is a makeup of who I am and who you are, like what you're going to talk about today on our live stream.
What am I talking about today?
You were about to get into some stuff about your dating history as well.
Oh, I am.
You were.
Oh, okay.
It sounded like it before I went off on my tangent.
Man, you be going off on tangents.
I do. And then I forget what we were originally talking about anyway.
Anyway.
All right.
I love you.
Thank you. I love you too. Olive oil.
Did you really just say that?
Again, history. The first time she told me, I did it on purpose. Catch up. The first time she told me she loved me, what did I say? You said, I'm prepared for you to say three things, which are three things that I commonly would say. Mm-hmm. I said none of them.
Not a one.
And I said what?
Okay. Just like that, y'all. Just like that. It was like it was a pause, and then I'm processing. Okay.
Yep, just like that. Okay. So.
But here we are.
Here we are. Today's topic is grow with me. Doing life with your business partner. Let's talk about it. Now, typically, our format for our titles are you say something, I say something. When I saw what the title was for today, I was like, well, that's not our normal format. Yeah. But we've also gotten 9 deep down onto our list, which we need to update by the way.
Yeah, because our list only got like 2 more things on it after this. So yeah.
We need to...
I mean, we could kind of switch the format and just be 2 people just conversing and talking and sharing. No, we need guys. He and I, we're structured people. One of the beautiful things about us Mount graduates is that we are very structured people and we like our order. But guess what, y'all? Someone is a little bit older, a little bit wiser because his birthday was on Friday and he is now 39 and fine.
39 and fine. Thank you, baby. I will take that. Mm-hmm. I will take all of that. Yep, I turned 39 on Friday. Definitely was exactly what I had asked for, which was a low-key birthday.
Yeah.
I ended up having to work that day. Michelle surprised me. She gave me hints over the last about 6 weeks or so.
Yeah.
About
Man,
what
that was a long time for me to keep a secret. I can't keep. Let me not say I can't keep secrets. When it's like a good surprise or something that I'm doing for someone else, I struggle with being able to keep a secret. So
Well, it was definitely a good surprise. I casually mentioned that if I wanted a cake or got a cake, it would either be I would either want a carrot cake or a red velvet cake. And she got me a cake that was a mix of both. Now, the way that my brain thinks, I was like, wait, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. I thought it was like one layer and then one layer. No, it was like half and half, side by side type situation. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it, you know?
and I think I told you the original bakery that I reached out to do the cake, they were going to do it one layer, one layer, one layer. And the only reason I decided against using them is because I didn't think that red velvet and carrot cake were two flavors that should be layered on top of each other. Like my OCD couldn't comprehend that. I thought that they should be like two separate things. Now, like if it had been chocolate and vanilla or chocolate and strawberry or something like that, yeah, but this was red velvet and carrot cake, and I was just like, I don't know how I feel about that.
And the red velvet definitely gave red velvet, and the carrot cake was definitely giving carrot cake. So thank you for that, by the
You're
way.
welcome,
She also knows that I'm not an easy put it like this. I buy what I buy for myself, and I buy what I need or what I want. So, and growing up, I never really was somebody that received gifts or anything like that for the most part. So I simply, when she was asking me about my birthday, we're getting to know each other and stuff. I'm like, don't really get me anything. Like I'm good. I'm content for the most part. Like not like content, like oh you don't ever have to get me nothing. But it's just like don't focus your energy on that. Focus your energy on yourself. I'm focusing my energy on myself, and I'll be good.
Okay.
That's how I view it. You know,
That is how he views
not everybody operates the same, and that's fine. But at least if she's in tune with how I operate, then she can navigate things without I don't know of another way to say this, like overstepping or doing too much that's going to make me feel like, oh, she's not listening to me. You know, she went and did this anyway, even when I mentioned to her, it's not really what I want. That's the fastest way to get off that train.
You know, his train that's going this way. Either you get on it or you get off.
So we got past my milestone, and part of growing up with you in life and you growing up with me is that there's another milestone coming up. So as we've gotten and navigated past my 39th birthday, somebody's 38th birthday. Wait, that 38, 37? You that young? Hey. Somebody's hey man, I gave you a whole year, didn't
a whole extra year, honey. I'm not at your level of wisdom.
Well, somebody's 37th birthday is approaching. Now, for you, okay, we've had these conversations, but do me a favor, journal this on the live stream so I can go back and reference it. What do you want for your birthday? I see what I did.
I see what you did. All right. So typically, typically what I would like for my birthday, I'm a quality time person. So there are three love languages that resonate the most with me, which would be quality time, physical touch, and words of affirmation. So for me, quality time is definitely that big thing. So if it were up to me, the thing that I would get from you would be quality time. That's not possible this year for one very special reason. You do have your daughter this year on my birthday weekend. Plus, it's a holiday weekend, and this is your year to have your daughter. So, what I wanted to do is just like chill out, like completely be off the map. So for my birthday, I rented a hotel room, and Friday when I get off of work, I am literally hopping in my car. I may go get a massage or something like that. And then I'm going to go out to the place where I'm staying for the weekend, and I'm just maxing and relaxing for the Saturday before my birthday's on a Sunday. So that Sunday, I'm going to check out of the hotel. I'm going to make a pit stop over to see my cousin. Kind of sad news. My cousin had passed away. Well, was um taken from this earth in 2019, and her birthday would have been the day after my birthday. So ever since then, me and her sisters, her sisters and I, we go out to see her around our birthday time, because again, my birthday's on the 3rd, her birthday would have been on the 4th. So this year, since I'm going to be around about that area on the 3rd, which is my birthday, we're going to meet up at the cemetery to go and, see her. I'm bringing the balloons, they're bringing the flowers, because I can't bring the flowers. So they're bringing the flowers, and we're going to, sing happy birthday to her and talk to her like we normally do. But for me, I wanted that quality time. Like, I don't physically need a gift. There's no gift I need. Well, the only gift I need you can't give me. It's for someone to magically make all of my student loans disappear. So, government, if you're listening, them student loans, they above me, okay? They are above me, and that's all I want for my birthday. Like, make them disappear, go bye bye. But no, there's nothing that I want. It's always, for me, it's always quality time. Quality time is what matters to me the most. The most, like, that's what I need.
Okay, all right. Not too big of an ask.
No. I'm simple. Despite the bling on my shirt, look, queens don't quit. We conquer, or they conquer. Despite that, I'm a very low maintenance person. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm trying to see if I agree or disagree, but we'll come back to that.
Okay, we'll come back to it.
The jury is still out.
The jury is still out. So let's talk about today's topic. We're talking about growing together, and again, doing business with your partner, being partners in life and partners in business. How did we come to that theme? Like, people may be wondering. And I think it goes back to the fact that both of us are very much business oriented. Your undergrad is in a business concentration. My undergrad is in finance. You have a master's in business administration. I'm close. I have a master's in public administration, and you work in a public facing job, kind of like, yeah.
Work for the government.
You work for the government. There you go. And I am a teacher, so a business teacher. So we do a lot of things, like we move and shake. We're creating content here on social media. We on YouTube, we have our AMP channels where we get on a consistent basis, and we talk about various things, and we're building our brands. We have things going on. Like, I just ordered a new set of business cards.
Which are fire, by the way.
Thank you, babe. It's because of the logo that I got designed by Prodigal Design. Shout out to you, Warren. Love you, boo. Shout out to Warren Whitworth. We went to elementary school together. We went to middle school together. Like,
so very fancy name.
Fire. Okay, he's fire.
Warren
the name
Whitworth.
of his business is Prodigal Designs, like Prodigal Son, but Prodigal Designs. But we're out here. We're creating. We're doing things. We're trying to get out here in these streets, not so much for the fame, but to help people in their particular lives. Like, you have a place where you are trying to meet people. I have a place where I'm trying to meet people. We do these things individually, and then together we're trying to come together and be a powerhouse and reach other people. Again, not for the fame and fortune, but hey, if you want to give us fame and fortune, we will take it, because we don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Okay. But we're out here mainly to educate, to help people, to uplift, to enrich people's lives. Like, that's essentially what we're out in these streets trying to do. And how do we do that together? Two people who have come from very different backgrounds, very, very different backgrounds. Apparently, we're 2 years apart from one another.
Hey, live stream, sometimes you got to think quick in the mind. Sometimes with this big brain, things don't go from left to right side. That's all I'm saying. I tried to aid you up, but continue.
I'm saying. Anyway, so we wanted to come together and talk about what it's like doing business with your life partner, or specifically being a partner in business and a partner in life. And some people would probably not recommend it. Like at my school where I worked, there was a couple, a married couple that worked together at the school. And I thought that was, crazy enough as is. Like, wait a minute, y'all work together Monday through Friday, and y'all a husband and wife. But it gets better.
I don't recommend it.
It gets better. They were both in the same department. And it gets better. They were across the hall from one another. Like these aren't their room numbers, but like one was like 160 and one was like 159. Like they were literally right. Don't ask me why our numbers are like that, but they're right across the hall from each other. And I was just like, hey, and they would like come in together too. Very seldom did they take separate cars to come to work. Like they would come in to work together and everything like that. And I was just like, that's love. I don't know if I could do that.
Pause. Let me say this real quick.
What's that?
Let's say we were working in the same place. If we had our own cars, I'm not riding in the same car with you. I want the freedom. I require the freedom to be able to make a pivot, and if I need to do something, I can go rock with whatever I need to do after work, whether that's go to the gym, make a grocery store run, go do whatever. And to have to like, well, you got to go back to the crib first, and then I got to no.
Well, in all fairness, I don't know if they always rode together, but they always came in together. So even if they didn't ride in the same car, they departed and arrived to work. They departed from their home and arrived to work at the same time. So it always looked like they at least rode together because they arrived together.
Also, the way that you arrive,
the way that I am, your school day, even if we did work together, we would always take separate cars because as it is now, I get to work 75 minutes ahead of my duty time.
Yeah. King doesn't operate that way. I am speaking about myself in the third person. The way King operates, I might be rolling up in the 10 minutes before I'm supposed to start. I might go a little bit early, and that's if I need to turn on whatever I need to turn on and prep it so that I'm ready right at the bell ringing. No. All of that to say, I never recommend.
Y'all. I live up to my last name.
I never recommend people that are living together, no matter what their relationship is, working together. Now, if it happens that way out of happenstance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can it work? Yes. But it works when both parties agree and operate on the same principles and things that, like, let's say if they're doing a business together. Like operating a business together requires you to uphold your end of the bargain or whatever y'all agreed to and talked about, which is the same thing as being in a relationship with somebody. So as long as you can both prove that you can operate within the bounds of what your agreement was, working together should be an okay thing. But people feel the energy with couples when y'all are off. You can sense that stuff. You can sense it. And that's the one thing that just make it awkward. The last time that I was in a room with somebody and the energy was just off, I'm going to tell y'all what I did, which is one of the favorite things that I tell people to do. Get up and walk out and leave. Don't even say nothing. Irish goodbye that joint. Just walk away. Don't say nothing. Don't say, hey, y'all, I'm out of, would you look at the time? I think I'm going to need to bounce. No. Dip. They both called me separately. It was like, hey, man, you all right? Where'd you go? I went home to go play Xbox because that was way more fun than that negative energy that I had around both of y'all, which is exactly what I said to him and to her. They are no longer together.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So, can it work well together? Yes. But what you and I are doing, right? What you and I are doing separately with the stuff that we have going on, I'm sharing my vision with you. I am choosing to share that with you. You choose to do the same thing with me, and we're supportive of what we have going on. And in my opinion, we get out the way if need be.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to sit here and worry about, Michelle is in the way. I need to be doing this yet. She's doing this and this is blocking me. No, that doesn't occur. I can't speak for you, but I hope I don't block the things that you have going on with what you're trying to do in business and stuff like that. I don't think I do, but I'm not going to speak for you.
You don't. I think if anything, you help me to kind of tunnel vision it and focus, and you are able to see talents that I possess that I mentally suppress, I guess you could say. I don't like to boast on myself. So you see things that I'm doing and you highlight that to bring it to my attention so that I can know what I'm doing and either do it better or take a potato to just like bask in what I was able to do. So I would say that that's what you do. So I don't think you prohibit me from doing anything.
Would you say something if I was?
Oh yeah.
Okay. How would that go?
I'm gonna need you to stop. That's kind of like that's what I would say.
Stop doing what, Shell?
Like you're not hearing me and kind of letting me flow the way that I need to flow. So I just need you to kind of like pull back a little bit.
But I don't understand.
It's okay. You don't have to understand. That's the role playing. That's a little bit of role play that we have.
Okay. Good. It's a good thing that you are able to do that. I don't think enough people speak what's really on their mind, afraid of how the other person might interpret it or hurt their feelings. I'm not going to front. In past relationships, I did that. I chose to remain silent about things that I might have been thinking about to keep the peace. Screw keeping the peace. I'm going to tell anybody right now. Matter of fact, I can't zoom in on me. Do not worry about keeping the peace. If you stay silent on something, all it's going to do is breed contempt and fester until something else is off the boat or rocking on the boat, and then it gets tipped over, and then a match get lit, and then the house is on fire, and then things are exploding, and then Jean-Claude Van Damme is coming in, roundhouse kicking everybody, and then you're trying to figure out how it all started. And it all started because you didn't say anything. Jean-Claude Van Damme roundhouse kick.
Is it wrong that as you were talking about a boat, I was thinking about the incident from yesterday?
Oh,
I was like,
over the weekend? Because was it Saturday or Sunday?
I don't know. Some people are saying the 5th, and then some people are saying the 6th. So I don't know when it happened.
All I know is a community of people came together.
Community of people came together. If you don't know what we're talking about, I strongly encourage you to like go to the Googles and type in what happened in Alabama this weekend, because we're not necessarily going to bring it to light on this show because this show ain't about that life, but what happened in Alabama this weekend. See,
hit Riverboat Montgomery and you will get all of the memes and videos and commentary that you ever could have wanted from that whole incident. It was dope. The incident wasn't dope.
Not at all.
The camaraderie and camaraderie and unity that came behind absolutely was. Now, Cheryl.
What that?
Yeah, when things are going well, people don't have issues.
Never.
It's when things get rocky that you start seeing things really erode. How do you think people let things get rocky? And how do we prevent that?
I think things erode when you lapse up on communication or probably just and when you change how you were. So I believe that there is a strong difference between a person changing and a person growing. I believe that there's a big difference, especially when we're talking about relationships and stuff like that. Like, I believe that there is a difference. And you're looking at me like, what's the difference?
What's the difference, Cheryl?
All right. So a difference between change and growing. A person changes. So I'll use me, for example. So 20 years ago, so I'll be 37, 20 years ago, despite my age, 20 years ago, I was a drinker. I drank. I drank in
the illegalities of it all.
Look, statute of limitations has passed. Okay. Statute of limitations has passed.
Don't ask me about my history.
So I was a drinker. Like I was about that lifestyle. I believed in drinking. I believed um meals should have alcohol consumption with it. I also believed that meals should contain meat. Like I was a meat eater 20 years ago. Those types of things. But today I no longer drink and I no longer eat meat. I'm vegan. So with that, those are two things that changed about me, meaning I am literally no longer who I was. I made a change in my life, right? Growth for me would be my locks, my lock screw. But no, specifically, some a growth area in my life would be me realizing that I don't necessarily need to associate with the same people that I did in high school or have the same mentality. There we go. I don't need to have the same mentality today at 37 that I did at 17 because I'm not the same person. Never mind the changing and not eating meat or anything like that, but I have changed. My viewpoints in life have grown and matured, which means that I needed to grow and mature with that. The things that I've seen, the things that I've done, unfortunately, the people that I've buried, all of that has contributed to who I am today. And that's growth. That's what we want. Like, you want to see people grow. You don't want two people to be in a 20-year marriage and they haven't individually or as a couple experienced any growth in that time period. That's kind of sad.
If they both don't, wouldn't that be okay? They're both just content with where they're at. Nobody's looking at the other person like, man, they out leaving me in this growth thing in life. Wouldn't that be all right? I think it's a mismatch when one does and the other one doesn't. I think the other person looks at the other person like, why is this dude or why is this lady not doing anything?
I mean, I think it's different if you're talking about a 20-year marriage and you're talking about these people were 40 when they got together and they're 60 now versus somebody is 20 when they got together and they're 40 now and there was no growth. Like, I think that's a little bit of a issue. So I guess it would be age related, but there should a relationship, here's your metaphor, a relationship, a friendship, all of them have the word ship in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Like train.
but we're talking about ships. So ships are designed to move and go, which means that all of our relationships were designed to move, go, grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of our relationships were designed to do that. So if the relationship isn't doing that, then that does cause you to kind of ask a question like, what's going on? You're right. If the growth is unequal, so if one partner is growing exponentially, and again, I don't mean changing or doing, weird stuff, but like they are grooming themselves more and they're caring about their health and their fitness and they're doing it for them. Like it's an intrinsic value that they're getting for that. And then the other person is like, no, I'm cool with just the way I am. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I don't need to make any changes in my life. Yeah, that is going to cause like some things to headbutt. Like, for example, if we didn't come into this relationship with you knowing that I was vegan, but like together we would go out and we would go to Fogo de Chao and we would like tear the house down like once a month or something like that. And then like we would go out and we would party all the time. And then one day I wake up and I'm just like, I don't feel like I need to do that stuff anymore. And I'm changing to this healthy lifestyle. And, all I'm eating is greens, greens, greens on greens, and water is my new drink of choice while you're still going out living that Fogo de Chao life and drinking. I'm not saying anything is wrong with it, but I'm saying that if I'm growing this way and you're fine with where you are, then that could come to a head. But eventually, like, we're going to run into some issues if only I believe that change and growth were necessary in my life, but you don't see that.
Okay. All right. So just like a train is on a track and that train gets to
Y'all, he
moving.
loves trains.
You're saying that, as long as y'all are both on tracks heading in a general direction, that you'll be fine. But if one person stops on the track and the other person keeps going on the track, that there might be some issues on, how things are moving along that track.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. I believe I've seen it happen. I've experienced it happen. And we have to be able, the couple has to be able to grow together, right? Like you just.
I don't know how I feel about it. I don't. I just don't. I don't know how I feel about having to grow.
But again, I'm kind of putting that at an age stamp. We're also kind of at that point in our chronological ages where it's kind of fine if we don't have big growth spurts. We're going to have like little minor growth spurts here and there, but we're kind of at that age where we're not necessarily going to see a whole bunch of big growth. Like again, if you have a couple that's getting together in the twilight of their life, they're probably not going to see very much growth during the course of their marriage, however long that may be. But again, if you're talking about a 20-year-old, two 20-year-olds getting married or getting in a relationship, there is going to be growth, like, or should be growth. Like, you should not be the same person at 45 that you were at 20. You are 30. No, think about it. You're 39 years
I just
old.
have a question for you.
You're 39 years old. Do you think and operate the same way you did when you were 20?
No, and which leads me to my question: should people in their 20s get married? Should people in their 20s even decide to try to have a monogamous relationship with somebody in their 20s to try to make it work long term?
I think you can. Again, if both of y'all have an understanding of what growth is and the fact that you both need to be on the same growth timetable and have that mindset. And it goes back to your original question, I feel like hours ago because I'm long winded, that communication is essential in a relationship, and that's when things begin to erode, when people don't communicate as effectively as they did before, as frequently and as effectively as they did before. Like, you need to be able to have communication. I think that's something that you see with 20-year-olds who get married, or younger people who get married in general, that somehow the communication style changes. Our food tastes and our food palates change every 7 years. Every 7 years that changes. So to
Is that
think,
why they have the 7-year itch thing? You said it. I'm just correlating it. I'm just correlating it.
All I'm saying is, if even our food palates change without us putting much into it, then we have to be understanding of the fact that other things about us change, grow, adapt as well. And we need to be able to keep up with that curve. So, am I saying that young 20 somethings shouldn't be able to get married? I'm not going to be in anyone's marriage. But what I will say is that you need to be willing to grow with your partner. And if you are not able to do that, then you're definitely going to run into static and issues. And that normally starts with a breakdown in communication.
I hear you.
But
I will say it. I don't think anybody under the age of 28 know who they are, know what they want, understand themselves, and should not enter into any long-term relationship with anybody. I'll say it. I will stand on my own 2 feet on that,
10 toes down.
all 10 of my toes down, and say that because of what I just said. I don't think you know really who you are. Yes, you're grown. Yes, you can drink at the age of 21. Yes, you can serve your country at the age of 18.
But your brain's not even fully
You
developed until
can
you're 27.
vote. I don't want to say that, oh, you don't know what you're doing. That's not what I'm saying. I still think that, right, especially with people living longer, and I don't know. Back in the day, you had, I think, people at a younger age making decisions about things, or doing extra work because they kind of had to. I think we're coddling people to where they don't really make decisions until they turn 18, 19, 20 anyway, depending on how you got your education. And really, you're going into these agreements with things when you don't know what communication styles are, when you don't know the difference between synchronous and asynchronous. You don't know these things unless you've been taught it, or you went through some type of training, or you had an older mentor or person that's teaching you this stuff you may not hear on the regular, because where you at or where you're from, you just don't do it. You just don't have these conversations. And then now you're trying to come into a covenant with somebody, whether it's a marriage or something like long term. You're making decisions with somebody. They're growing one way, you're growing another way. Next thing you know, Jean-Claude Van Damme roundhouse kick. So yes, do not enter into anything long term, romantic wise. Take business opportunities for sure, because that can lead to wealth given time over 10 plus years or whatever. I'm just throwing a random number out there. But romance, no. That's my take on that.
Okay. So, what do you say for those who do get together at a young age and they're together like decades upon decades later?
Mm. Put you back some money in an account and hide it and hope that it doesn't come up in forensic evidence. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think you have a chance. Now, if you were to say, all right, but King, I love my significant other. We're the exception, but we do want to learn things from the older people, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say? Okay, all right, let me get for real. I would say schedule, no, don't schedule time. Just when you're the person that you're trying to grow with is, sharing something or saying something or communicate. Listen, now they also need to understand if you're trying to make important life decisions while you're working or doing something else, like that's kind of foul. But take the opportunities and the time to have the real conversations or things that you need to communicate. Because it ain't just about talking each other's ear off. No, like I'm not just saying talk, 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 talk. No, it's understand what the other person desires. Have that emotional intelligence to listen, receive, and understand, and then make the attempts to do what you need to do to make yourself happy while also having an understanding of what the other person desires uh to be happy. Because the one thing that I will look this camera right here and say, do not do things to please somebody else.
Oh, I said the same thing on my live
Do
earlier. No.
not do anything explicitly to please somebody else. Don't do it. You're an idiot if you do.
What one thing that I will say is that I think you'll you'll notice that when people are able to talk with one another and communicate, and that's something that people don't fully develop until they're older. I think that there are some couples who start off young and they're able to find success, and it's because somewhere over the years they learned to listen to their partner, they learned to listen to themselves. But you really have to have an identity of who
Who you
you
are.
are.
Yes.
If you don't know
Yes.
who you are, it doesn't matter what age you get in a relationship, you're going to struggle because you don't know who you are. You're basing your identity on something else, something that's either unknown, or you're basing it on another person, and you're not going to find success in that type of situation. You really truly have to do things based on who you are. So it starts with, who am I? What do I like? This is why I tell people all the time, you need to date yourself. Like, that sounds really bad.
No, that's
But
solid advice. Date yourself.
I
Would you like yourself? Answer that question.
I used to go out on, I still go out on dates with myself sometimes. Like, I will take myself out to a movie and go have fun. I will take myself out to dinner. And I know, like, I remember talking to some adults, like adult women, and they would say that they could go to a movie by themselves, but it was the going out to eat by themselves that was a little bit difficult. And I'm just like, oh no, I'll do it. And like, I'll do it and not be that one who's like sitting on social media the whole time, or even like texting someone else the whole time, but like, I'll go and enjoy a meal by myself. And I mean, lunch and dinner are different. If I go out to enjoy lunch by myself, okay, I may take a book with me and read, because like that's how I'm centering myself in that moment. But you really, if you couldn't hang out with yourself for 2, 3 hours, without social media, then how can someone else hang out with you for 2-3 hours without social media?
Yes. Hey, that's a whole bar. That's the one thing that I've said as well. I can recall a specific conversation that I had with this guy, 25. He's talking to somebody and he's like, "Man, King, man, I'm trying to figure out. Like, it seems like nothing that I'm doing is like making her happy." I'm like, "Why are you with her? Literally, why are you with her?" I said, "How does she talk about other people?" And the guy responded, he said, "Well, she's always got things negative and she always says that, women around her are miserable, yada yada." I said, pause, pause. I said, "Oh, I'm so glad you said that."
I'm so glad you said something. Let me explain something.
I said, "Let me put you up on game." I said, if she's always talking about how everybody else is miserable and she's miserable, ask yourself, why would you even want to date somebody who views themselves as miserable? He said, "King, she doesn't view herself as miserable. She views everybody else as miserable." I said, no. No, you're not reading between the lines.
Yeah.
You're not understanding how her makeup is for you to see past the cheeks or whatever. Because what I'm trying to tell you is that is a miserable woman and she wouldn't date her own miserable self. So why are you dating her? I don't know if he's broken up with her, but I tried to tell him to dump her and like focus on himself. Because that's always my message. Don't give your energy to other people until you know who you are.
Yeah.
So that to me, that's right there, the central theme and what I will always say to anybody. I had a conversation. I don't want to call it a conversation. I was having a look over on social media, and somebody who I was stationed with at one point, he had shared this thought. And the last part of that message was a nice message. But I sent them a thing and I said, "Hey man, I have a different perspective about what you're talking about. Is it okay if I share it in your comment section?" Right? Because I don't have arguments with people. I do like to have healthy debates just to offer a different perspective, but I'll never argue with anybody. So when he said, "Hey, sure, I'm okay with hearing different perspectives," I said, "You said this. I think that mindset is wrong. It should be about a bringing out. This is me 24/7. Increase your value and attract quality people and exclude the people that don't have the same mindset or walk in the same value steps that you walk in. If you choose to accept lower quality people into your life, I think you're adding additional risk factors that can cause your life to blow up that you didn't need to add simply because you chose to accept low quality." Yeah, I'm gonna bring this up because I talk about this all the time. There's this whole high value man, high value woman conversation that was talked about across different spaces in social media that I thought was kind of played out. I'm like, while people are talking about high value this, high value that, no, break it into quality quadrants: low quality, average quality, which is where most people sit, and high quality. If you sit in an average quality quadrant and you choose to accept somebody that's low quality and they bring down your life, you asked for it. That's my take on that. So recognize what quality quadrant you live in, recognize what quality quadrant the other person lives in. And if you want to accept that they're in the same tier or higher tier and that's what you want to rock with, so be it. I think people in average and average work well. High and average work well, but if you go anywhere and you dip into that low quality quadrant, you're asking for hurt and pain later on. Shout out to Grooming and Reviews 101. Says, "Wow, new cam look good. I can see your big head better." Salute to you. No, hey, it's the same camera. It's the same camera. We got high speed internet now, or I have high speed internet now, and now that it's in 1080p, you can see all this handsomeness. But I appreciate you popping in, Pete, man. Thanks for joining, brother. So, growing with people. That's the advice that I would give.
Where would you like to see us in 20 years?
In 20 years, we're together What would I like to see? I would like to see us individually.
Okay, you go with the individual first.
Individually attaining the things and doing the things that we desire individually, and supporting the other person's endeavors without infringing on our own individual desires. Because look, here's the thing. I'm not inviting you into my life. I want to speak from my perspective. I'm not inviting you into my life. I'm just going to say this as plain as I can. Spending my resources, which is time, energy, attention, money, spending my meat, shout out to Coach Greg Adams, to then 5 years from now go, yeah, know what, Shell? Like, as long as how do I say this? As long as you're not an anchor in my life, we're solid. We're solid. If you at any point become an anchor, I won't hesitate to drop ship.
You ain't answered the question.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
So where do I see us 20 years from now? I see us thriving in what we're doing individually. And because we're happy and thriving on our individual endeavors and supporting each other, I can see us in 20 years strong, having lived, grown, and communicated because we're doing stuff like this and we're solid in that foundation. If this stops, we stop communicating, we stop supporting each other, we won't make it 20 years. See, you got to let me build to get to, the answer, because it makes sense when you catch all of what's being built. It'll make sure you understand.
I gotta let you go through each train stop.
Yes.
To get to the final destination.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. So same question to you. Where do you see us in 20 years?
Well, first of all, I don't see us as residents of the United States, not permanent residents at least. I see us traveling, like nomad lifestyle. Like I really, really see that for us in 20 years. Like we're just globe trotting. We're doing 3 months here, 6 months here, and just kind of all over the place because we want to see and explore together.
So are we communicating that stuff now? And in your opinion, because I know we're just really getting together.
I'll be sending you reels. I don't know if you catch it.
Are we taking the steps to get there? Because to get to where we're 57 and 59 and we're able to, hey, let's get this passport stamp and go, so and so. That would have meant that we've built those blocks now and invested in that stuff now to where it's possible in our futures. Do you think we have the capacity and we're taking the building blocks now to get there?
I think we have begun those steps.
Good, because that's the same way that I would have said that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't think like we're like fully like we're done, we're ready. I think we have begun those steps. So
all right, we got a couple of minutes here. Let's go into the comments to see what we have, and then we are going to wrap up today's live stream. Let's see. I can hear the way you said that too. All right, shout out to you. He said, so I need some advice from both of you. I start a new job soon. Is it better to keep my hair and beard the same or cut my hair and take the beard down? I'll let you go first.
As a business teacher, one thing I tell my students is the way you interview, if you got hired based on that, then you should not need to change a single thing because they saw you at the interview. Now, it's different if you were asking this question and it's 2020 where they may not have seen you at an interview. Like, that's totally different. But you had to physically interview with someone. They had to physically see your face. They saw everything about you. Don't change a single thing. You should not have to change from interview to day one. Now, if you change from, submitting your resume to interview, that's something totally different. But I don't believe that you should have to change. And this is coming from someone with locks, tattoos, and a nose ring. I don't believe in changing once they've already seen you and they've offered you a position based on what they've seen.
Okay. What I'll add or what I'll say, Pete, is there's a difference in going someplace kept versus unkept. Make sure that you are groomed good and groomed well. But similar to what she said, I wouldn't change either. I would understand what the culture is there, and I would understand what their standards are, and just ensure that you're conforming to their standards. So if their standard is you can't have a beard past a certain length because you have to have a beard guard and your beard guard can't fit anything above a certain length, then hey, do what you need to do to trim it down to fit whatever standards that the place that hired you adheres to. But I would say understand what the standards are, understand what the culture is, and adjust as needed to ensure that you fit the standard. All right. He said, following that up, so the chef was out sick, but the GM got you the job, not the chef. All right. Well then, hey, congrats, first of all.
Yes, congratulations.
Congrats. Shout out to you. I would keep it how you have, and then see what the culture is like there and go from there. I wouldn't taper it down or remove it altogether just because you got the new job. Because similar to what she said, they hired you knowing how long your hair and how long your beard already is. Just make sure that it's groomed and kept, man, and you should be solid, brother.
I agree. I think that's something we often take for granted. That's something I tell my students. Go in on that interview day like you have the job. Like, how would you dress for that interview? Because that's essentially how you're going to be dressing for the duration of the job. And they can't discriminate on you based on how you look, because that is, federal offense. But if they hand you a thing and they're like, okay, so this is how, you have to be here, then obviously obliged by what they are saying. But other than that, don't change you for a job. Don't you let no job change you.
Pete, man, that's awesome, brother. I know you and I talked a little bit earlier today and you gave me that news. So I'm glad that I found out the news before you said it here. Otherwise, I might have been like excited and be like, oh, snap, that's awesome. So this is my being content because I'm aware of your situation, man, and what's going on. And I hope that, and I don't like the word hope.
He said hope, y'all.
But I hope that you get that sorted out. Favorable for you for what had occurred, brother. Growth.
Hashtag
growth. We are at. Are we at? We are at.
We're at.
We are at the end of our live stream. Next week, are we doing smiling hearts? Are we doing it? Because we got 2. We need to add to our list, by the way.
I know. That list is like running dry.
So,
let's go till the
water was dry. Boom, boom.
We might
boom, 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 boom. Let's not wait till the water was dry. You'll make the biggest mistake of your life.
Don't do it, baby.
Ooh. I never knew what they said.
He said, "Don't do it, baby. Don't do it, baby."
Hey, yeah. Hey, when it comes to me singing, don't do it, baby. All right. So next week we're doing smiling hearts. Hearts don't smile. All right. Well, we want to thank everybody for rocking with us. Let's see what this last comment says before we're out. First of all, let us know what y'all thought about the King and Me Show karaoke. All right.
We might have to do another song. Obviously not the happy birthday, because remember last week we lost somebody because I started singing happy birthday?
You started singing and it went bloop. Somebody checked out.
Somebody was like, nope, I'm not doing it. Not her vocals.
All right. He said, I also think it might be the same to do good for his show to do the same thing. Absolutely. Let's see. Really fast. Michelle, do you know Law really well with KOB and stuff. I don't know what KOB is.
I'll be really honest. I don't know law that well. I think King, because he got an MBA and my master's is not in business, I don't teach business law. Like the little bit of law that I teach is very much preset on intro. So I think you would probably have more ideas of business law. What I do know is essentially, what passes on the federal level. Like I don't necessarily know a lot of state stuff. Because we're not in the same state. So I know a little bit of federal, but not a lot for your specific state.
Yep, and that's kind of where I sit at. I don't know the specific HR stuff. Okay, he said job stuff, law with job and stuff. That's where I sit as well. And have the education piece to it, have a bit of the training piece to it because I work in a supervisor capacity, but there's a lot of different things that kind of go into it. And that's my knowledge level. I'll just say that.
So I'll say this: the one thing to know is that there's a federal floor of what people can do and can accept, and then states can. It's a floor or ceiling, depending on how you want to look at it, and states can be anywhere near it, but not really exceed it too much. Like for example, this is just an example; it's not related to employment, but well, actually, no, I'll do an example based on employment. So Maryland, and because of your situation, I looked at it. Maryland, DC, Pennsylvania, we're all at will states, which means that you can be fired, you can be terminated from your job for any reason.
Meaning, if I wake up and just decide because your name begins with an M, I'm going to fire you.
You can, but see, here's the federal legality in that. If I, as the terminated employee, can find just like do research and say that, well, this person terminated the employment for this reason and it violates the federal standing, then I have a case to be able to sue you all. And I mean, the reality is a person could at any level, but it's, did that employer really, really violate it? So if someone is terminated because of retaliation or their gender identity, their race, their ethnic background, their religious beliefs or lack thereof, those are all ability or disability. Those are all reasons that yes, an employer can let you go, but if they let you go for one of those reasons, those are all lawsuit. What is it? I can't think. Those are all things that you can take to litigation because they are protected clauses. Like you can't be terminated for that. However, if you aren't performing your job well, your employer does not have to give you multiple warnings. They can for CYA reasons, but they don't necessarily have to give you multiple warnings for that. They can just say, unfortunately, this isn't going to work out anymore. It is best for them to always have a paper trail. It is best for an employer to always have a paper trail as to why they're doing something. Because if you don't have a paper trail, then any good lawyer, or not even a good lawyer, any lawyer at any level could come in and like fight that and be like, oh, well, how did I know I wasn't doing my job? Well, you never told me that. So you never gave me an opportunity to redeem myself. And it could be more of a hassle in the long run for the employer if they don't cover their behind throughout the entire employment process, if that helps at all. So I know a little bit.
There you go.
Just a smidgen.
Rock on. All
in
right.
3 months in law school, I'm telling you.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, but never mind. I'm not going to say that.
Say it.
No, sound like you learned stuff.
Oh,
that's what's up. We'll see everybody next week. Be sure to tune in because we don't just, do this live stream and then boom, that's it. We share a lot with people on our YouTube and our Facebook channel. So thanks to those that are rocking with us and people that discover us and will continue to rock with us. All right. You ready to end the show?
I'm ready to end the show.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.